hello to anyone who may, you know, come to watch this video. And this video is especially targeted at the guys who are developing the Unity game engine, and it's more of a plea to really look into the Unity user experience and user interface, as soon as possible, because I first touched Unity, that was like many years ago. I don't know, 10, 20 years. Not 20 years, sorry, 10, 15 years, I don't remember. But it was a long time ago when I was still, trying to get into game development and stuff. And so I got into Unity and, try to look at the interface, and stuff like that. And, it was nice. It came with a nice demo content, the solder, if some of you remember. And it was nice, until, it got to the point where, I discovered that I had to write JavaScript. Or, yeah, back then I think JavaScript was a little bit more popular than C#. But, that's where I left Unity to go to Unreal Engine, because, I'm definitely not a programmer. I'm just a level designer and stuff. So recently I had to come back to Unity for a project, and, picked up Unity and restarted. And of course, once in a while I would see Unity on Facebook, on YouTube. I wouldn't pay much attention. So got back here because of a project I had to work on for a client, and, I had to use Unity. So open up Unity, and things hadn't really changed much since the last time, I looked at it. And indeed, because, looking at this, I think this is a link, and this is pretty much how Unity looked like. That was like, I don't know, 10 years, 13 years ago. Nothing really much has changed, and for software, that's quite some time to kind of revise things, and look back and try to improve. And I hope that they're looking into it, because there's a lot of space. Meanwhile, there are certain things that people do regularly, like create materials, create folders. You have to do for a folder 1, 2. Why don't you put a create folder here? Yeah, there are definitely many other things you can create, but you create anyway. What I'm trying to say is, they should look at it and try to make you spend less time, searching menus, and really working on the stuff. And there are other things. For example, you have a stuff, and you assign a material to it, and material is already assigned, and you apply a texture, and texture is applied. Okay, now you want to unapply the texture. Why don't you put a right click button to unapply the texture? Why don't you put an X button here to just a small X, clicking to unapply, or to unassign the texture? You have to do one, and then come here. There's a list, and when your list is pretty long, start looking for none, to go and click. I think it's pretty. It's a little too much. Try to look at putting a button here to add. And I really think that, I've been using it just for a few months, but people have been using this thing for quite a long while. And I think there are better places, to come down with suggestions as to how to improve the Unity experience for a level designer. Programmers, I think they're pretty fine. They could write their code and have it compiled pretty much in real time. That's cool, but I'm a level designer, and that's really what I'm trying to say here. I actually had notes. I have a list of things here, and I'm going to go through a few of them. Another one is adding an asset, to the level. This is Blender, for example. I have an asset that I just exported to my desktop here, and if I come to Unity and I import the new asset, cool, import it, fine, comes in there. then I want to apply to the level. Cool, but there's just no way for me to predict where this thing is gonna go. Just no way at all. And even if it's already on the scene, why don't you add some sort of vertex snapping or some automatic snapping where it snaps to the surface of something, Because I know that it has, I don't know, collision detection for objects that have collisions, but when you're importing an object when you put it on inside your scene, you're trying to work on it, it doesn't have collision yet. You should kind of implement something like some sort of, I don't know, face snapping or whatever that can, have you easily place something on something, without, first of all, I don't know, applying collision to it. I guess mesh collider, yeah, and I guess if it has a mesh collider, I guess it's gonna snap to the surface, but you could use vertex snapping or face snapping for objects that don't have, because not all objects in a scene are supposed to be having collision. The collision is not free, and you want to be able to place objects there, quite easily, because in a real engine they have something like that, which is pretty cool. I can easily place this here. And it's more predictable. It's more predictable. It kind of snaps to the surface of things. This is the kind of behavior. I'm not trying to say that the Unreal Engine is better, even though I know within me that it is, but I know it's a matter of taste, and that's my taste. Because there are buttons. Another thing is this. Okay, leaving that aside. Okay, Unity, I want to start the game. I want to test it. Okay, I press on the play button to start it. Cool. But now when I want to quit, and because when you're in a game, the mouse cursor disappears, and you have to press on the escape button for it to come in, and you have to struggle and go up there to the stop. Play the stop button. Why don't you do it like here? You can press on the play button here. Sorry for the sound. And if you want to stop it, you just press on the escape. It's a pretty standard thing in PC language that escape stops the execution of something. Why don't you put an escape button? And there are different other play options that are possible. I really think that Unity, they really need to work on their UX and UI, because it can be better. It can be better for a level designer. It's really a lot of headache. And I don't know. As I said, I've been using this for a few months. I don't know. Maybe people who are more experienced than me have other ways of doing this. I'm open to it. Because at the end of the day, you want to do the work quickly and get out of there, instead of struggling with the UI for software. Another thing is that I also experienced, and I was really shocked, is, okay, I have an asset that I just imported, and suppose I go back to my software and I don't know, do some editing and stuff, and then I re-export it. Let me just let me just show you how the Unreal Engine does it first. So, I'm going to import the same asset that I just imported into and you see on import, it actually gives you options, as to how you want your import to go. Okay, so you can add collision when you're importing and stuff like that. All of those are good, because if Unity gave me an option to add collision, even if it was just a convex hull, and that I know that I would need it in order to be able to place my object correctly in my scene, I would definitely want to check that box. The import box, like here. If I delete this and I import it again, the option is pretty much gives me, I have options, for example, to automatically create a collision convex hull geometry. Cool, and after that I can import my stuff, and I know that it has collision already, something summary, but in Unity, kind of, you have to go through the extra step of importing. First of all, they could have put a dialog box there, honestly. So, I imported, and it comes in, and it comes in there. And then suppose as I said, I went back and I did a few edits, and I re-exported my FBX, okay, and I override that guy, okay. In Unity, okay, Unity creates a copy of my asset in its asset folder. So if I want to update this thing, I have to kind of like permanently have two folders open. One for the folder where I store my geometry, and one into Unity's asset folder. Okay, so basically you have to be doing this all the time. Go there, and then go look for the box thing on the desktop. As I said, you have to open another browser, go into the desktop there, and drag it, and if they happen to be in the same folder as you're dragging the other guy and putting it there, in Windows by default is going to do a cut. Okay, so you end up, it could end up being a mess. So you basically have to copy it and override it, and you go back to Unity, and it has updated the stuff. Cool. But I really prefer this way. For example, I've done it here in Unreal Engine. When you import it, it creates a U asset, an Unreal asset, which is completely different from the Unity FBX. But at least it keeps some sort of a reference to the original stuff. So if I come here, for example, and this thing is already in my scene. Okay, I'm gonna try to bring it out here. If it's already there, all I can do is just do this and re-import. Sorry, yeah. So I re-import it, and it comes in there with the changes already done. Okay, so I don't have to go looking for a folder. Okay, I just have to do this, re-import, and it keeps a link to my original location, so I can basically have a folder. I mean, imagine that you're doing some work and stuff on the network, and you have to create a copy of your stuff, and each time you have to go to the network to import. It's a pretty, I mean, it's bad for user experience. It's just bad. Okay, you want to be able to just come in here and right click and say refresh, and it refreshes it and re-imports it for you. You don't have to go and do it all by yourself. Okay. The other thing is I'm not going to go through a lot, because I know that there may be some other videos there that see the same thing. The other thing is this. Okay. Look at this texture, for example. Okay, the name is truncated. Okay, the only option that I have to see that name is to do this. And when I do this, I don't have the texture. It's just so small. But why can't we have a pop-up like this one? Okay, where it's pretty much the same thing. I can have very long names, but I put my mouse on there and I have some details. Okay, so if I'm looking for something with a specific name, I have a pop-up like this that easily tells me, like even when a name is truncated, like it can go 2 or 3 lines. Here it just cuts the name, and if you're looking for something with a specific name, you're really in trouble. Okay, this is just an example. I'm not saying that it's all bad. It's very nice stuff. I've been enjoying some things. Working here. The asset store is cool. Well, I won't even come to things like material editing, because until 2018 you had to buy an asset for that. But I just want to stay on the UI UX that I came here for. Another thing is an easy way to reset a parameter. Okay, so in Unity, you have parameters. You change the name. Number one, why must you change? I'm not sure, but I think I tried it. Why can't they put a slider here that I can slide and modify the two of these values at once? In Unreal Engine, I have sort of that option where I can lock it here. Okay, I can lock a value here, for example, and when I modify one, when I modify a value, I automatically, now my keyboard isn't working anymore. I don't know what's going on. Around 10 there, and it automatically scale set for all three, okay, and I can easily reset. I'm not saying here is perfect, okay. I would also want a slider here where if I want to change all three values, okay, I can come here and I just pull and I slide and I'm modifying all three values at once. That would be nice, okay. Even these guys, they have work to do, okay, but at least here I can reset, okay. By just doing this I can reset it. Here in Unity, I mean, you come on, guys. I mean, please, 2019, you guys should please work on this thing, okay. I mean, why don't I have modified values, for example, in bold, so I know the values are modified, or something where I can just come in and just click and have the values reset. All right, that would be nice, okay. Next is what other thing I have in my list is this thing where if you select your camera, okay, you can have a preview of the camera here, okay, but immediately you go and select something else, you lose that, okay. But the guys in UE4, they have a solution for that, okay. If I select the camera, I have a preview, but I can lock it here, okay. I can pin it and I can go select something else, and I have that view. So I guess what I'm trying to say, and I don't want to make this video too long, is that please, Unity guys, get to work on the UI. You guys can do a lot more. I know you can do it. So I'm almost 17 minutes into this video. That's already too long. And I have a list. Honestly, I have a list here, and some are more pertinent than others. Stuff like the mesh browser. I heard somewhere somebody talked of Unreal Engine having too many windows, but there's no other way. If for example I have this mesh selected and I want to inspect this mesh, okay, this is all I have in Unity to inspect the mesh. This little window that I don't know what doesn't really say much, but at least here I have a mesh browser that when I open it, it really gives me a lot more information about the mesh, about its materials, about pivot points and UVs and things like that. So I mean, Unity definitely has a lot to learn from the UE4 guys, from Epic, and I mean, all these products can definitely be improved, but Unity, honestly, is the same UI since how many years ago? It's just too long. It's just too long. This thing can really, it's just like, I mean, I can go on forever. This is just so much. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop here, and there'll be comments. If you guys can comment and whatever you want to comment, but if this thing can reach the guys at Unity, maybe they're working on it. That will be fine, but we're all looking for it. All we want to do is get a job done quickly, and get out of software, So yeah, so I guess I'm just all right. Thanks for all those who listen, and Unity, please do something about this. Thanks.